Hi there, good noon and welcome to another session on CMAT. We have conducted two such sessions for you prior to this where we took you through the kind of questions that you can and should expect in the exam. And here is the third session in that series brought especially for you so that your practice, your preparation does not stop. So that your preparation keeps on rocking, keeps on rolling. So I welcome you to BYJU'S Exam Prep channel dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant. My name is Vikrant and I'm going to be your personal coach for all things English and communication here. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if these sessions have helped you, don't forget to press the like button. That is the biggest motivation that you can send my way today. So any issues, any specific areas where you need more inputs, any question type within English where you think you would need more clarity? If yes, make sure that you put it down in the chat window below and I will address that concern today as well as tomorrow and then in the subsequent sessions too. And before you ask, now we know that the date of exam is 4th of May. So in every previous session, I could feel you, when you asked for the date and we had nothing to share. I could feel that sense. It is important for us to know that end date, but now we know that. So it is 4th of May. That will essentially wrap up all the exams for those who are targeting an MBA program in 23. So just one last race to go. Just the last, I'd say 12 days now. So make sure that you maintain this focus and you keep working hard. So just a quick review of the examination pattern for you. There you go. So 180 minutes, 100 questions spread over 5 sections where you get +4 and -1 as your negative marking. And within that, you have this language comprehension section, which in all likelihood should get 20 questions. And those 20 questions are basically divided between vocab, grammar, RC, and at times even parajumbles, although they've not asked a parajumble for the last 3-4 years now. So if I take you through the paper pattern of last year, the CMAT that was conducted on the 9th of April 2022, we had 20 English questions. One of those happened to be an RC passage that contributed 4 questions. Questions were easy in the sense that most of the questions are fact-based, specific detail questions. Hi Surendra, I hope your preparation is going well. Then you had a lot of vocabulary based questions. Okay, so synonyms, antonyms, fill in the blank, one word substitutions, spelling based questions, verbal analogies, phrasal verbs, all of this. And then we of course had a few grammar based questions where the primary focus was on error identification, but they also tested your ability to change the narration of a sentence. They tried to see whether you can convert a sentence that is in direct speech into a sentence that is in indirect speech, right? And if I look at 21, we similarly had an active passive voice based question. So apart from a lot of other areas, you are also supposed to revise your active passive voice and your direct and indirect speech. Okay. Yash, we are actually taking a lot of sessions. So you have this session with me today. You will have another session with me tomorrow at 12 where we'll practice some more questions. So every day on this channel, you would find something that contributes to the exam. And additionally, you can also head over to our app where you may find some more sessions that are relevant for you. Okay, so I'll definitely strive to do that. In fact, we are also starting our last lap to CMAT series now that the date is announced, right? So let us start. So let's get ready to practice. Here is your question number 1. In this question, I am asking you to choose the most appropriate synonym of the word enhancement, and your time starts now. Wow, Nidhi, that's fast. That's quite fast. Okay, so right now I'm looking at you. When I do this, I'm actually reading your messages. Okay, so I'm still with you though. All right, so our answer to question number 1 happens to be option A, enrichment. And I think all of you have managed to get this right. So enhancement basically means an increase or improvement in quality, value, etc. So the word enrichment also means the same. If I look at these other words, diminution and condemn, they are in fact antonyms. Okay, and counteract means to act against something in order to reduce its effect or in order to neutralize it. So we should have no hesitation in choosing A as our answer, as most of you have actually gone ahead and done. Okay, question number 2. This time around, no, let me just change it a bit. Let me ask you for the antonym of esteem, and your time starts now. You could have chosen synonym too, but then I thought that let's introduce some variety. I hope you're thinking. Nidhi, you were the first one to answer. All right. So I kind of changed this question for you. If I asked you for a synonym, you should have marked B. Esteem basically means respect and admiration for someone, or at times even for something. So reverence is a higher form of respect. Okay, the kind of respect that we show for gods and deities, that kind of respect is reverence. But so synonym is B. The word value can also be thought of in the same ballpark. So if you value something, you may or may not respect it, but at least there is a positive connotation. But the moment you look at deride, when you deride somebody, you in a way dislike that thing. You prove to that person and to the world that this thing is not worth it. So this is definitely opposite of esteem. There is one more word left, poise. Poise basically means graceful and elegant. So for antonym, let's go ahead and choose option C. With that, let's dive into our next question. Question number 3 on the screen. Give me the correct spelling of the word. This should be easy for you. Okay. So Nidhi has once again set the ball rolling. Let's see if others catch up. Come on, guys, come on. So yes, the correct answer is indeed option C, brilliance. Fair enough. So in the B is missing an extra I. Look at double L, you don't have an I there, right? So went a little off there. And here is your question number 4. And this time around, we are moving into the territory of grammar. Hey, what happened to my... Hang on, just give me a second. What happened to my... There is something wrong with the formatting. If you give me 1 second, I'd go ahead and fix it. I wonder why this really happened. This is a little weird. There's a little off. So anyhow, we have gone through a few vocabulary based questions. There are some more lined up for later, but let us take a break from it and get into the territory of grammar now. So here you go. Question number 4. you have been given a sentence that is divided into 3 parts. In my previous session, I did not have a no error option. This time around, I've introduced it to increase the difficulty level a bit. So one of these 3 parts, A, B, and C, may have an error. In that case, choose that part as your answer. If there is no error, please mark D and your time starts now. Okay, the time is up, but then I can understand that to get 30 seconds for a grammar question can be a little less. So I'll wait for a little while longer. But in this question, here is my hint. The problem is with the use of preposition. The correct answer should be C, and the reason is you don't have reservation at jobs. You happen to have reservations in jobs, right? So this is once again a reminder that we do get asked a lot of questions in the exams, various exams, where we need to bring our A game to prepositions. So make sure that you look at prepositions carefully in order to excel at this part. Okay, question number 5 on your screen, and same directions. Your time starts now. Okay, the issue here relates to verb, especially. You know this type of verb called modals? So instead of shall, it should have been should. So science should inform values such as vaccine and climate policy, but it must not determine all values. It should. So what we want to hear is, what we wish to communicate through this sentence is a piece of advice, or maybe even a moral obligation. Remember, something like ought to. But it must not determine all values. The rest of the sentence is all fine. And that is why our answer to question number 5 should be option A. So this is a relatively rare variety that I decided to stump you with. But have a look at the next question. And your time starts now. This is not rare, so my hopes are high. Okay. I see the answers. So Mayank has shared something, Amisha, and now Nidhi, you're absolutely right. The correct answer is indeed option B. Instead of where, we should have chosen was. So whenever your subject joins two nouns using neither nor, your verb is supposed to agree with the noun that is closer to it. So in this case, the noun that is closer was assistant, and assistant is singular. That is why the verb should also be singular. Okay. So B it is. I think everybody has definitely managed to get this right. Now, so far, we could not practice reading comprehension together at all. So I thought that, okay, let's set that right. Some of you would require that. So here is a brief passage for you. The passage will of course be followed by a few questions, and you're supposed to refer to the passage in order to answer those questions. But because we are doing it in person, online, using slides live, you'll have to use the seeker to refer to the right part of the passage. Okay, so make sure that you keep referring to the right area. So right now the timestamp is, you can check the timestamp. I'm not able to see the timestamp. So it's 12:15 by my watch. So you probably be adjusting it accordingly. So here is the start of the passage. The moment you are done reading these couple of paragraphs, drop in a yes in the chat window and I'll take you over to the next slide. Come on. Okay, fantastic. So here is the next part. So we actually happen to have a lag of almost 20 seconds today. So I'm moving over to the next slide. I'm sure you would have read it by now. Otherwise, you can pause and read. So here you go. Okay, moving on to the next part now. I hope you're through. Moving over to the next part. So that's the last bit. I hope you've read this part now. So if you look at it, this basically is a passage that belongs to the domain of what? Sociology, maybe culture, a bit of overlap with art. So this passage talks about a cultural shift in the conservative kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is spending lavishly to become the filmmaking hub of the Middle East. And then there are these reasons given to shake off the staid image and stimulate the economy, create jobs, etc. Now that we have gone through this, let us dive into the questions. Ready for it? Here is your first question. There is no timer, but I'll wait for the answers. The moment I have 3 answers, I will start my discussion. So the major reason for Saudi Arabia to try and become a hub for filmmaking is what? I hope you are thinking. So this is a kind of question which is known as a specific detail or a fact-based question. And these questions are very popular amongst the CMAT examiners. So majority of the questions that you get in the exam are actually specific detail questions, and that is what makes the RC easy usually. I think the only exception that I can recall was, I think either 2019 or 2020, we had just one passage, but that passage was, ooh, man, that was diff A and B, both are mentioned there, and that is why our answer here should be option D. So this is the variety that you get very frequently in the exam, and since the answer is just here, I can refer to the right area as well. So you see this. So some of us have gone on to choose B instead of D. Why would that be? Maybe it is the meaning of staid. Staid is something which is not exciting, something that is not fashionable. Staid suggests a settled, accustomed sedateness. Nothing is happening there. So they just want to shake that off. So I think that definitely jives in better with A. So goes with it, yes. So we can definitely choose D. So that dull, sedate, unadventurous. So because A and B can both be had from the last paragraph, our answer should be option D. And with that, let me take you over to the next question. Here it is. So what's your take on question number 8? Okay, I have one answer from Mayank. Let's see if I get 2 more, we can start. Surender has also contributed. Nidhi too, and you guys are absolutely spot on. The answer is D. It is once again a specific detail question. You need to refer to a couple of paragraphs in order to get all of these answers though, and that is why generating a mental overview becomes very important. It allows you to be fast in such exams. So D it is. With that, let me take you over to the next question. Question number 9. Another specific detail question. Okay, I have two answers. And you guys are absolutely spot on. The correct answer is option B. Another one of those specific detail questions. Now you know why generally the CMAT RCs are easier and why we don't emphasize a lot on them in our sessions. Most of you are usually able to solve it, but let's not stick to only specific detail questions. Here is a tone based question for you. So this is an indirect overview based question. Let us see how you fare. So what's your take on question number 10? Oh, Sayak, I did not see that you've opted for C. Financing homegrown productions is mentioned in the passage. That's definitely mentioned. I mean, there was this line said, to build the new industry, the Saudis are tapping their country's oil wealth to fund homegrown production, sponsor Saudi filmmakers to study abroad, and establish domestic training schools, sound stages, and studios. Remember all of those things in a single sentence? You could have had it, we could have had it from there. So I have one answer, or in fact, I have two answers for this question now. Waiting for one more. Okay, so let us see. So, in case you do not know, sardonic is basically dark, okay? Sardonic is mocking. Sardonic can at times also mean cynical. But in this particular passage, if we see, throughout the passage, the author has adopted a neutral stance in describing the birth and future growth of the Saudi film industry. Okay, he's given us a lot of information such as the cultural mantle of the Middle East lying vacant, and the reasons behind it, and why Saudis are spending lavishly. So overall, if I look at it, considering that it was neutral, we'd choose A, informative. In argumentative, what do you do? In an argumentative passage, you would introduce arguments and counter arguments, right? You'd talk about some opinions and then you'd go on to prove those opinions wrong or cite the counter arguments to those opinions. Definitely not something that has been done here. The author has not mocked anyone, so sardonic is also out. And contemptuous is another negative tone which shows that you think others are beneath you. You are superior, others are inferior. So the author has not been disrespectful towards anyone, right? So D can also be ruled out, and therefore our answer here should be option A. And with that, let me take you back to the world of vocabulary based questions. So here it is. There is an idiom and you're supposed to share the meaning of that idiom with me. Your time starts now. Okay. Very fine, very fine. You guys have actually given me the right answer very quickly. It is indeed option C. So you already know the meaning of chewing the fat. There is another idiom that means that means the same thing, and that is shooting the breeze. That also means the same. So let me take you over to your next question, which is a contextual idiom question. So this time around, you do have an idiom, but then it is put in a sentence. Hopefully that should make it easier for you, and your time starts now. So great job, Mayank, Surender, Sayak, Nidhi, Vaidehi, Kishan, Raksha. Keep it up, guys. Come on. That was a sensational performance on question number 11. That warms my heart a lot. So pat on the back for you. Okay, so Mayank has set the ball rolling. Nidhi has also shared her answer. You have. Okay, so absolute. So guys, the answer here is C. And Sayak, I actually chose this sentence because this sentence does not make the meaning obvious. The sentence is such that it can be misleading. So the idiom to be full of beans means to have a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, right? And not very many people have that on their wedding day, right? At least I've gone through a few, as in not mine, all of them mine, but I have gone through a few weddings of the others too, where, you know, the rituals, the ceremonies can at times be very exhausting, and by the end of it, the bride and the groom are rarely full of beans. So it is C here. And with that, let me take you over to a phrasal verb. So what's your take on this? So there is a phrasal verb here, and you're supposed to share the meaning. Your time starts now. Saik, I know. I deliberately chose a misleading sentence. Done? So here we go. The correct answer to this question is option C, to rob. So to hold up something like a bank will be to rob that bank. I think the options here definitely made your job a little easy. Here is the next one. Question number 14th on your screen. And what are you supposed to do? Change the voice of the given sentence. So in this case, okay, why am I even sharing that? So it's active passive voice, right? If it is in active, change it to passive or vice versa. So go ahead. Yes, Vijay Fakya. If you hold up a bank, it basically means that you rob the bank. You steal the money usually at gunpoint and get away. Oh, we use this Hindi word for it, no? Dakati. Heist nowadays is another popular synonym. A lot of people have watched Money Heist, so that's become a part of the regular lingo. There is no timer here, but take your time. And since I have quite a few answers, I think we can start. You are absolutely spot on. Sayak, Mayank, Vaidehi, Kishan, Nidhi, absolutely guys. The correct answer is indeed option B. He was seen opening the box. Now, is by me necessary? Yes. In this sentence, I would prefer by me. But then the problem is none of the four answer choices give that to us. And therefore, we are willing to overlook it. But personally, because there is an I would prefer by me. The doer is not obvious in this sentence. We omit the doer when the doer is obvious. This is not the case here, but the options made our life easy. And here is another question that is based on direct and indirect speech. Go ahead, put on your thinking cap and tell me what your answer should be. Okay, so we have an answer from Mayank. So such sentences, these exclamatory sentences can at times be tricky. becomes difficult to decide what to choose in order to start. But the options are our friends here. You notice this? He called upon heaven is common to all. So we can simply ignore this part. The same. Now in exclamatory sentences, we do not use a conjunction that we normally use to plus the verb. So A can be ruled out. Then, so help me heaven, I will never steal again. So B says to witness his resolve never to steal again is somewhat closer to the idea. But in C, it somehow appears that that heaven used to steal. And therefore, C can be ruled out. Then D, he called upon heaven to witness his resolve not to never. Ooh, not to never. That's a double negative. That's wrong. So D is also eliminated, and therefore you are absolutely right in choosing B as the answer. Okay. So we use that as a conjunction normally when the sentence is affirmative or negative. Which conjunction do we use when the sentence is a question? So that depends. If it's a open-ended question, which starts with one of those WH words or how, we don't use any conjunction. If it's a close-ended question, a question whose answer is a yes or a no and it starts with a helping verb, then we use if or whether. So then we can use these. So I'm sure once you go on to revise direct and indirect speech, you definitely find it useful. And in case you found the session enjoyable and you've learned some things, make sure that you do hit that like button right now. And here's a thought for you: where there is no battle fought, there won't be any victory won. So you want to win, make sure that you keep fighting for that victory. And if you want to practice more, we are starting our last lab to CMAT. The first session will be on 23rd of April. That is a day after. So this fabulous series is starting, and we anyway have one more session at 12 tomorrow of 100 most important CMAT language comprehension questions. So you would have some session happening every day. Additionally, we have this another series going on where we pick up some CAT level questions and discuss those. Even that series will be useful for you if you want to increase your practice, and if you want to practice on your own. All that you need to do is install the BYJU'S Exam Prep app, where we upload one section test quiz every day. It's a section, it's basically a section quiz. So you'd find some questions on DILR, some questions on quant, and of course some questions on another quiz. So 3 quizzes. The third one will focus on English, so you can attempt these here as well. And if you know anybody who's preparing for CAT 23 and they have these dreams to be among the toppers, do recommend the BYJU'S comprehensive program for CAT 2023. It has an absolutely amazing set of mind-boggling, exhaustive features, as you can see. And to make it easy for people to join it, we are conducting our next scholarship test on 29th of April. So if you are interested in it, or if anybody you know is interested in it, please share it with them so that they can register right now and take the maximum benefit out of this test. Additionally, and this is something that a lot of people do reach out to me for, they want to know how to prepare for VARC section for their CAT or these other entrance exams. So I am going to talk about this in great detail, in great depth on 22nd of April at 7 p.m. exclusively on BYJU'S Exam Prep app. So in case you are somebody who's interested in that, please join in. So that's it from me. We are there wherever you are, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, you name it, and we are there. So make sure that you subscribe to us and follow us at these different platforms, so that whenever you have a question, you can reach out to us, and whenever we conduct something that can be immensely useful for you, you don't miss out on it. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. That's it from me today. Until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Have a great day ahead. Take care.